another edition of the new ND Nation Radio.
We're going inside them. We're going outside them. Inside them and outside them. And when we get them on a run once, we're going to keep them on a run.
At Notre Dame as number one goes down. Syracuse undefeated no more.
This is now top-notch college hockey.
Everything here at Notre Dame has been done on faith and a commitment to excellence. You are Notre Dame. You are special.
You would impart some wisdom or some tips on the guys coming in.
I would probably say stay on top of your academics.
Walk out, he broke free at the 30, 35, 40. The Rocket is going to do it again.
And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
You know, this play like a champion sign, Rocket Ishmael's touched many times. Jerome Bettis has touched many times. You know, the best stadium you play in, I'm going to say Notre Dame.
We're going to get them on a run. We're going to go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line. Don't forget, man, today's the day we're going to win.
Well, guys, there is no time to rest. We are joined by our next guest. This is a Notre Dame great, former quarterback, current member of the Denver Broncos. Welcome, Brady Quinn, to New ND Nation Radio. Brady, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great, man. It's an honor to have you here with us.
I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and get the interview started here. I know there's three of us here. We have a chat room, so if they have any questions, we'll feel free to pass those on to you.
Okay.
My first question I want to ask you is actually kind of about a teammate of yours from your days at Notre Dame, and even in high school, and Charitable and Duquesne. You both, you came up through together in high school. You played together at Notre Dame. And it's like as soon as you guys go to the NFL, it seemed like it was polar opposite. You go to Cleveland, he goes to Cincinnati. You end up going to Denver, and he goes to Oakland. What's the process been like with you two since then? Is there any rival talk? Is there any smack talk? Or is it just the same as it was in high school and college?
That's a good question. I kind of, didn't really look at things that way. I think when guys go to the NFL, even though you're in separate teams, you still really pull and root for one another. There's maybe a little bit of trash talking when you play one another, but when it comes down to it, I think we both realize how fortunate and blessed we are to play in the league. And again, we try to support each other as much as we can because, it's not easy. It's not an easy game, especially at this level. So I think anytime you can have more guys in your corner to root for, that'll hopefully continue to help you on, playing longer and longer in this league.
And you kind of went through a thing that the guys recently went through a couple of years ago. You came in as Coach Willingham as your head coach, and then a couple of years in, he was replaced by Coach Weiss. Kind of talk to us because we get a lot of comparisons from previous guests of Coach Weiss to Coach Kelly. What was it like for you in comparison playing for Coach Willingham to playing for Coach Weiss?
I mean, they couldn't have been any more polar opposites. I think when you, just for example, looking at the offensive systems, Coach Willingham was a West Coast offense. Coach Weiss, his offense more stemmed from Bill Parcells, what they ran back with the New York Giants and the New England Patriots and so forth. So, from that perspective, it was different. I think obviously they wanted you to excel off the field as well as on the field. That was one thing they did have in common, but besides that, they're a little bit different. I think Coach Weiss, definitely wanted to have a hand in everything as far as, working with his players, working with his quarterback. He was always involved. And I think Coach Willingham relied, more as assistant coaches. He definitely allowed them to kind of do their thing, with each position as far as game planning and so forth. But they were both great coaches. I mean, obviously, I had the fortunate opportunity to work with them both, and I, really felt blessed just to, one, have the opportunity to go to Notre Dame and play under Coach Willingham, and then, really felt lucky to fall into working with Coach Weiss. I really feel like that helped to prepare me for the NFL.
Being you are a quarterback at Notre Dame, that's not something everybody exactly gets to have on their resume. It's really an amazing thing to have. This year, Gunnar Kiel's the big name. He's the top. He was rated, depending on what website, but the top quarterback in the nation. What advice would you give to Gunnar if you get the chance to speak to him to talk about being the quarterback of Notre Dame and just the process he needs to go through?
Well, I mean, I would say this much. I mean, try to simplify your life as much as possible. There's a lot of things going on when you go to college, especially at Notre Dame. The academics are tough. It's going to be a big jump from, I'm sure, what he's accustomed to in high school. And on top of that, now you're playing at like an elite level of football that really forces you to put in extra work, off the field, watching film and making sure you have a strong grasp of the offense. So, some of those extracurricular activities or, maybe some of those other relationships may have to kind of take a back seat to many of the things that he wants to accomplish because, nothing great comes without great sacrifice. And I think he's going to have to kind of learn that maybe the first couple of years until he understands how he works best and, gets comfortable with the workload at Notre Dame from academic
Well, Brady, before I pass you on to my co-host, Steve, I know I have a guest here calling in and had to ask a question for you. At 610, you're on the line with the new ND Nation and Brady Quinn.
Hi, Brady Quinn. This is Kathy Angelo. I'm one of the, founding members of TNNDN, and I'm excited about talking to you. I absolutely adore you, and I wish you nothing but the best in the NFL. But one of my questions is, when your pro career is over, would you ever consider coaching at the college level, maybe at your alma mater? I think you'd be a fantastic quarterback coach.
Well, Kathy, first off, just let me say, thank you for all your support. Obviously, I know you're very much involved in the new ND Nation as well as just being a supporter of all Notre Dame athletics. So I know as a former athlete there and the kids there now really appreciate your support. Fans like you did make Notre Dame unique. For me, I have no idea what the future holds past football. Honestly, if the NFL has taught me one thing, it's probably to live day by day and not to really focus too far out ahead. So, if that opportunity presented itself at some point in the future, I would love that. I truly feel like Notre Dame is such a wonderful place. There's so many amazing people there, and if I would have the opportunity to go there and coach and hopefully impact the lives of young men kind of as they take the journey on, whether it's playing football at Notre Dame or onward after that, going to the workforce. I would love that opportunity.
Well, we would love to see you there, believe me. You have just tons of fans that are crazy about you and can't wait to see you do well on the field in the NFL because we know you're capable of it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, and that now my dream has come true. I've actually spoken to Brady Quinn, so thank you very much, and I'm anxious to listen to the rest of the interview.
You're very sweet. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I can imagine that you have quite a few interactions like that on a daily basis there, Brady.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a little bit, different. Playing in the NFL, it's your job now, so it's different when you're playing for an alma mater. But you definitely do appreciate it when you have fans like that who are so passionate about the team they're rooting for. And it's no different out here in Denver with the way fans are, or how it was in Cleveland. I mean, people are obviously love the game of football, and I'm just glad and blessed to be a part of it and be able to play it as for my job, my career.
Well, what I wanted to ask you is last week we had on Austin McBride, who played on some of those big games in big-time 1993 and 94 squads, and he mentioned when he came back, he actually didn't come back for almost 15 years, but he mentioned about how much different it was and how he was able to kind of absorb it and enjoy it. So what was it like your first time coming back as an alumni on campus and maybe even for a game?
I mean, really the first game I got to come back to was this past season versus BC. So it was a victory, which is always good. But it's for me, it was different because the stadium when I first got in there, I just remember feeling how big it was, how packed it was, how just crazy the student section everything was. And then playing in the NFL and coming back, obviously you're playing in NFL stadiums that are gigantic. I mean, they're complete. The way it's structured is completely different than a college stadium.
My second question, kind of an interesting situation for you in your NFL career is you've actually twice been on teams that have traded their top-ranked wide receiver statistically. Have you ever been pressured, or your coaches or ever tried to call up your old teammate, number 83, Jeff Samardzija, bring him back into the NFL?
No, they haven't. I think, with what he has going on right now, I think a lot of people realize, that's probably what he wants to be doing, and I'm sure he's enjoying it. It's definitely something that's been on my mind. I would have loved to been able to continue my career, throwing to him, or just seeing how well he would have done in the NFL, because he is such a tremendous athlete. But yeah, that's something that it hasn't happened, but I'm kind of surprised it hasn't.
Yeah, that's one of the things is when you look back on your career, I mean, there were so many magical moments between the both of you. Next question, moving on in the NFL, it looks like you're possibly going to be hitting free agency for the first time. You mentioned taking everything day by day, but, if you do hit free agency, what are you really looking for out there as far as in personnel and a QB and another chance to start in the NFL?
The biggest thing I think is some sort of stability. I think looking back over my past 5 years, I've had 4 offensive coordinators in 5 years. I've been in organizations where they have, coaching changes. With each, time I've gone to a different team. So I'd love some continuity. I think with that comes success for a lot of teams. Obviously in college, you can't trade players or, guys aren't, releasing the free agency and so forth. So, I know when our class got there as freshmen, our team didn't do as great, but sophomore year we got better. And even though there was a coaching change, our junior year we got better, and senior year we even got better than that. So it was a continual building process, and I think it had a large part to do with the fact that the group that we came in with, we knew no matter what we were going to continue to get better. We're going to try to accomplish the goals that we had set out for ourselves, and I think that's sometimes why you see certain teams in the NFL continually dominate, because they have continuity, whether that's at the quarterback position or the coaching staff. Or just seeing the roster. I mean, you look at the Steelers roster, their defense is, pretty much the same guys year in, year out. So I think that has a lot to do with their success.
Yeah, I think I speak for all the fans of yours from Notre Dame, and we have no question that you have all the skills and the ability to be very successful in the NFL. And, we're out here rooting on you like crazy, and we hope nothing for the best when you head out there. And if you stay with the Broncos, great. And if you move on, I'm going to move back into the South Bend. I love to ask the athletes. I asked Nicholas Sparks this already today. When you were getting recruited at high school, as you and Chinnedum down in Ohio, what was really selling you on Notre Dame before you ended up going there?
It was funny the way the recruiting process went. Notre Dame actually wasn't as involved in recruiting me in the beginning, and that had a little bit to do with the fact that, Coach Willingham had just been hired, so I think they were trying to get settled in and all that. So I was actually looking at Michigan really hard, Michigan and Ohio State, and it came down to Chinedu and his father coming and saying, hey, look, before you make any decision, just please go visit Notre Dame. So I took an academic visit, and my dad and I went up. We visited with Coach Willingham, and it was the only place that I could envision myself playing and walking around on campus. Something about it kind of pulled my spirit to want to be there. I think, obviously looking back, it was a tremendous experience. It helped me grow and mature as a young man. And I don't know if it would have been the same anywhere else.
Yeah, we really do not want to hear you talk about possibly going to Michigan or Ohio State. That is not good talk around here. Thank goodness you made the right choice, and I think you know that. Just going back again, is anything when you look back on your career there, you played in some epic games, the UCLA game, the Michigan State game, even the USC game. Is there something that really stands out when you think about your time on the gridiron in South Bend?
Honestly, I just remember walking off the field at home against Army my senior season. I mean, I'll never forget that from the stands. Seeing all the fans and everything, and the season didn't end the way we wanted to, playing against USC the following week or in the bowl game. But just the support of the student body, you'll never forget that. I think that's one of the big reasons why Notre Dame is so unique. It's just the spirit of the crowd and the student body and the alumni, and how strongly they support their players, win or loss. And that was something that I'll never forget, kind of looking up and truly appreciating, their support and them being there. I mean, watching us grow up. I mean, that's how I felt over the 4-year career that I was there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to speak again for everyone listening that's Notre Dame fans. It was special to watch you and the group of players you played with in your class, especially was such a special group for everyone at home and for the stands. So we are appreciative of you as you were of that. My last question, I got to ask one little thing about this past season with the Broncos. You got a lot of media hype. I wanted to ask, what was the locker room reaction to the Saturday Night Live sketch?
It kind of came at the time where the season was, we're getting ready to enter the playoffs and so forth. So it came at a time when everyone was just more focused on kind of football than some of the exterior things. And it's funny, but man, when you get at the end of the season and you have a playoff push, I mean, you get television. I mean, it's like guys don't know what day of the week it is. I mean, it's everyone's just kind of has their eye on the prize on that opponent that week, and they're just trying to win one game, trying to win the next game, just to make sure they get in the tournament, to get in the playoffs and have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. So, I'm sure there's a little bit of laughs here and there, but I know in the quarterback room everyone was busy watching film and just preparing for each week.
Well, Brady Quinn, I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to you, and thanks for coming on. I'm going to pass you on to Jason. He wants to talk to you a little bit about some of the charitable efforts you do and, how we do that with the New ND Nation. But such an honor to have you on. I hope you can get a chance to come back again soon, and best of luck with what's going on with your career.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, Brady, Jason from the New ND Nation here. I just want to, first of all, thank you for coming on the show. We've got a lot of people in the chat room, and everybody was really looking forward to the show. And, one of our missions, and actually our founding mission here at the New ND Nation is helping others out with fundraising and raising awareness. And you, like so many other Notre Dame alumni, you do the same thing, and you do it in several different ways. You're the national spokesman for the Granted Wish Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that great organization.
So basically, the Granted Wish Foundation is kind of like a playoff of Make-A-Wish. The only difference is they don't limit themselves to like a certain age or to children per se. So basically, they kind of deem the ability to grant a wish to someone who is very much in need in one way or another. So I fortunately had the opportunity to hook up with Rodney Napier when I was in Cleveland, who has kind of really funded the Granted Wish Foundation, and I can't thank him enough for allowing me to be a part of it. His family was so generous, and they've, they've been unbelievable. I mean, some of the stories, I could tell from some of the different gifts and some of the ways, they've made some dreams come true for people are just amazing, and we hope to continue to get more and more attention as they continue to grow. Stephanie Coletti, again, she's a big part of that as well. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention her.
Yeah, definitely, and everybody out there listening, if we just put it up on the chat room, but if you're listening on the podcast or on the YouTube version of this show, www.grantedwish.org. Definitely check that out, see what they're doing. It's a great organization, and make sure you check that out. Brady, my father is a Korean War vet, and your father served served as well for our country, and I've been hearing a lot. I'm here locally in South Bend, and I've been hearing a lot on our local radio about your foundation, the Third and Goal Foundation. Tell us about that also, and why it's so special to you.
Yeah, so my dad actually served in Vietnam. He was a Marine, and one of the things when I talked to him about his experience was, and a lot of other wars when the soldiers came back, they were celebrated. Well, Vietnam happened to be one of those political times when they weren't treated very well. They weren't accepted the way, soldiers are, I think, more so today, coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and obviously, previous wars. So, I know there's a lot of people out there who are, I should say, soldiers out there who came back from Vietnam and even other wars that, maybe haven't received the attention or the appreciation that they deserve. So, I started the Third Goal Foundation, and one of the things we're really aiming to do is kind of replicate what the South Bend Center for the Homeless has created with the Robert L. Miller Senior Veteran Center. And basically what they aim to do is they work a lot with PTSD training and different medical issues to work with some of the soldiers who are facing that, whether they're coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, or maybe it's something that's plagued them for years, and they happen to be a Vietnam vet. So we're really, trying to, partner with them, make that known, and actually bring one to Columbus. And to be honest, the ultimate goal is to put one in every NFL city be able to get the support of each team so that they're able to, show their appreciation for our troops and just the ability to live the way we do and have the freedoms and liberties that we do on a daily basis, from the support we have from our troops.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. With all the veterans of war now coming out of Afghanistan and Iraq, they're definitely treated a lot better than what our soldiers were coming out of Vietnam. These guys were spit at and really treated poorly when they came back. So what you're doing, that's it's a great thing for all of these veterans, and we definitely appreciate your efforts there. Hey, before I let you go, I just wanted to let you know Nicholas Sparks via Twitter has invited you to his celebrity golf tournament in April. So we'll let you know what we find out there. We'll send you an email and let you know. But, again, on behalf of myself and all the other staff and fans out there, we appreciate your time. It was definitely a great interview and continued success, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Well, thank you, guys. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity for having me on, and thank you for the support as well. Again, I know there's a lot of Notre Dame guys out there who are in the league or who have played in the league. And, again, it's the support of our fans, from our alumni and everything from Notre Dame that still, continues to drive us and give us that support because we know, that's our family and those are the people who continue to, always give us that, always allow us to feel that love and the ability to, continually play and love the game that we play.
Definitely.
Well, Brady, actually, if you have one more second, I know I have one more person on here who wants to talk to you. This is Lynn. She's another member of the New ND Nation. So, Lynn, the floor is yours.
Hi, Brady. How are you?
Good, Lynn. How are you doing?
I'm great. You probably recognize me. I'm one of Kathy Angelo's friends on Shoe Liver 23.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you because I work directly with the New ND Nation, and I also wanted to thank you on behalf of the military soldiers I work with. I worked with Adoptive Soldier Platoon, and I actually got an email from one of my soldiers today wanting me to tell you thank you because it's nice that guys like you go out there and don't forget them. And I've worked really hard with this. I've got a lot of soldiers that I'm working with at Walter Reed who unfortunately have lost their limbs stepping on IEDs and all those sorts of things. And knowing they're not forgotten by people like you, one guy, Derek McConnell, just walked for the first time last week after losing both his legs 6 months ago. So knowing guys
amazing.
like you have not forgotten them means more than I think you really understand. This is a big thing for them, and it's a big thing to me. So I personally wanted to thank you for not forgetting these wounded warriors and the guys over there who are still fighting for our freedom.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, honestly, my goal is to kind of create an environment where they feel like they can come back and they can get the treatment they need and they get the help they need to not only deal with whatever issues they may have from, fighting in different wars or various conflicts, but also just to reintegrate back into society because, what they experience is nowhere near the reality that we face. And obviously we can never share their vantage point because we've never been there and had to face it and make the decisions they've had to make. So, I'm very aware of that. And it's just something that, again, I wish more people, were more passionate about it as I am.
Well, thank you very much for that because it really does make a difference, and a lot of these guys over there follow you and appreciate not being forgotten because the post-traumatic stress alone that they go through, let alone if they lose a limb, is insane. So I just wanted to thank you for all you've done.
No, thank you guys. I, again, appreciate the support.
So I'll pass it back to Tim, but thank you again. Take care.
All right. You too.
Well, Brady, I know we've had you on here for a little bit, and we want to thank you again for joining us. Just give you one more thing before we get out of here. We actually, we do a big thing every year for the Blue Gold game. So if for some reason or another you're in South Bend, let us know. We'd love to meet up with you. I'll buy you a beer even if you want to come and hang out.
All right, I'll have to let you guys. When is the Blue and Gold game this year?
I believe it's the 20th of April.
20th, okay.
Yeah, it's the 20th. We're gonna have a big the end of our Play Like a Champion Uganda event at Brothers on the Eddy Street Commons. So we're gonna have room for over 100 people. So you're more than welcome.
Well, thank you very much for the invite. I'll definitely keep in touch. I'll see if I can make it out.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Brady. If you want to give the floor's all yours. If you want to get everyone a chance to get in contact with you, shout out your Facebook, your Twitter. The floor's all yours, man.
Yeah, I actually don't even have a Facebook, and I think I might be giving up Twitter for Lent. You know, one of my things is I think sometimes we get too attached to social media, and it doesn't give us an opportunity to kind of reflect and look at things, and maybe spend more time talking to the people who are closest around us and getting to know them a little bit better. And during the football season, I kind of am a little bit distant from everyone and keeping in touch with some of my friends. So that's one of the things I'm giving up for Lent. But I would say you can hit me up at BQ9 on Twitter, and eventually I'll get back to you. Probably won't be for a little while now, but at some point.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks again, Brady. It was a true honor for all of us to talk with you. And so we'll love to have you on, and best of luck in the upcoming season.
Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Have a good one, man.
No problem. Thank you, guys.